Hi, everybody. Welcome into Turn 2 with Scott and Troy. I'm Scott Kornberg, joined by my good friend Troy Johnston. Thanks for sticking with us with this little bit of a break. We had a lot of stuff going on. You guys had to go out and have this incredible comeback while I was not with you guys to get to the International League Championship Series. Let's start there, I think, because this city is excited. I don't know if you've heard about that stuff or you feel it from the fan base. It's the first playoff appearance for Jacksonville since 2017. It'll be the first home playoff games here in 11 years when you guys host whoever wins the second half. But I guess for me, 21-6 start, best record in minor league baseball. You guys continued to play really good baseball. The problem was Lehigh Valley had a really soft schedule. To their credit, they took advantage of it. And it's June 3rd and you're 8 games back. When did it feel kind of real to you that, hey, we might actually be able to make a run and win this thing in the first half?
It didn't feel real to me until we got to Syracuse, because when we were playing in Rochester, we were like, okay, we're winning, but we're not winning by much. It's like a 1-run game, it's a 2-run game, except for that first Tuesday night game. I think we won 17-0 or something like that. But until we swept them, and we're going to Syracuse, and we're like, okay, ball flies well in Syracuse. They're an older team, they're a little more experienced. We got to kind of play our best baseball. And then we're watching Lehigh Valley after every single game, and we're like, oh my goodness, Lehigh lost. Oh my goodness, Lehigh lost. Lehigh's lost again, and we are in the clubhouse watching Lehigh blow a 3-run lead and give up 3 in the ninth, and we're like, this is it. All we have to do is just hope that they don't hit 4 home runs in a row, and we pretty much have this thing clinched. But it really didn't feel real until we got to Syracuse. We were so focused on just playing our own baseball, and I think that was a testament to kind of how our staff was too with Carp. He pretty much just said, he's like, you can check the box score all you want, you can do everything, you can play, how many games do we have to win, how many. He was thinking it too, but realistically, the only thing we could control was showing up every day, giving our best effort, and trying to win every single game. And Rochester was not a bad team at all. I think they just gave us a couple wins when they didn't need to. They walked. I think we had a 2-run lead, and they walked the bases loaded. There was one they brought in lefty, and guy hit a home run. And there's just different stuff like that happened, that we found ways to win games and they found ways to lose games. And it's tough to say that because Rochester was a good team. They had good arms. They hit well. And then we go to Syracuse, where I think they beat us in the series, or we split with them or something like that when they were at home.
Yeah, we split with them.
But I remember them being a very good team. And then we show up and we decide, we're like, okay, we need to win, either sweep or win 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 to put some pressure on Lehigh Valley. And that's exactly what we did. I think we won 4 of the first 5, and we really put the pressure on them.
It's interesting you say all this because I was talking with David Carpenter. We do a weekly conversation on our radio broadcast every Tuesday. And he echoed something that you almost said verbatim to what he said, which I think would tell you, if you're a follower of this team or this organization, a Marlins fan, that is a really good thing, that the coaching staff's message is getting said almost verbatim by a player a week and a half later. And he said, yeah, I knew we would win. I had no doubts about that. My only question was them, but we couldn't control it. So all we could do was just go out there and beat Rochester, come back several times in that series. And like you said, maybe it helped you guys that Syracuse, you had seen them in the past. You knew they've got a lot of really good arms.
Yes, they do.
You knew what you were kind of getting into there, and you guys took care of business. So when you do, I think it's really cool. You guys finish up against Syracuse. You win a game Saturday night. First off, to do what you did, 8 games back, and to not only go into first place, but to clinch in just 18 days is incredible. But you're in the clubhouse watching Rochester beat Lehigh Valley. I think the game ended, it was the 7th inning or so in that Lehigh Valley game. What was that kind of feeling like? Because it sounds like you were doing a little bit of scoreboard watching all week.
We 100% were doing scoreboard watching, like I said, in Syracuse. Because I would get texts from my dad, and he's like, hey, Lehigh lost. You're only 4 games back. I'm like, I mean, that's still 4 games.
Yeah.
And then he'll text me and go, hey, you're 2 games back. And I'm like, okay, that's actually serious. Hey, you're a half game back. I'm like, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
But we're watching the game, and I do have to. This is one of the funnier stories, but John Rooney has our song queued up of "We Are the Champions, Queen," and there's 2 outs in the 9th inning in the Rochester Lehigh Valley game, and the guy hits a swinging bunt to the third baseman. John Rooney hits play, and we all immediately start yelling at him because we're like, I can't believe you just did that. You know, you just got a swinging bunt hit. Now it could all unravel. They have a 3-run lead. Like, it's not enough. Like, all this stuff. And we're all just yelling at him. And we feel the pressure because we're like, if they blow it, all of our momentum's kind of gone. But thank goodness they didn't blow it. It was just a pure excitement. For me as a player, this is my 4th time winning a half, a championship, whatever you want. I won it in short season with Batavia. I won it twice in Pensacola. But this year was a little bit more special because there's 20 teams in the International League that you have to be better than. It is not the Pacific Coast where you got to be 10. It's not the Southern League where you have to be better than 4. It is literally you have to be better than 20 teams. And that's special. And that's really, really cool because I didn't realize it at the time because in years past, I think it was Norfolk won the first half. I don't remember who won it last year.
Omaha won last year.
Omaha won it last year. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing those teams and I'm like, wow, they are really, really good. And I kind of have to step back and be like, wow, we're really, really good.
We are really good.
We find ways to win every single night. And it doesn't matter if we're down by 3 in the 9th or, you know, we're getting blown out by 10. It doesn't, like I think 2 nights ago I think we lost kind of big, and then we put up 15 runs the next day.
And threw a no-hitter. Yeah.
And it was incredible because that's what kind of team we are. We truly do not care about the game before. We're only worried about moving forward, and we're only worried about going ahead, and I think that's so cool. And I'm going to say this, even though I didn't think I was going to say it on air, but I don't know how similar this team's going to be at the end of the year. Just because it's AAA baseball, it's minor league baseball. I would love to keep this core group of guys here for the playoffs, but we know how baseball works. We know the trade deadline's coming up. We know there's going to be movement. But whoever's here and whoever's playing in this playoff game in September 23rd, 24th, whenever it is, they're going to have all of this instilled in them because there's a lot of people we're bringing up and we're bringing with us that are already going to have this winning mentality. It doesn't matter if we're down by 10 in the 9th. It doesn't matter if we're up by 10 in the 9th. We're still going to put pressure. We're still going to go. We're still going to try to win no matter what. And that's really special to be a part of.
I think it's telling because you talked about the no-hitter. To me, the almost better game was, we're recording this on Sunday, June 29th.
Yes.
To me, the almost better game was the 8-0 win Saturday night because, I mean, A, you get the shutout. B, it's still a really good offensive performance, 8 runs against a really good pitcher, Tobias Myers. But C, you talked about, hey, you got guys coming in. Morgan McSweeney is coming in from independent league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And he had never started a game before this season when he was in Staten Island. So he had pitched in 137 games in the Baltimore Orioles organization. He got let go. Nobody picked him up. He goes to independent league baseball. And he makes his first start like 2 or 3 days after he's signed by the Marlins. And he gives you 6 2/3 shutout innings. But to me, the best part about this, and you talked about how this team is so cohesive, David Carpenter goes out to the mound after he gives up a hit or a walk. I don't remember what it was in the 7th inning. And normally it's like, all right, you know, great job. But his story is so cool. And I know you were playing the outfield yesterday, but to see everybody playing the infield's reaction when they know Carp is going to take the baseball from him, that is one of the coolest things because I said this on the air. If you're watching this game and you're in the stands, a lot of people in minor league baseball don't know McSweeney's story. We had talked about it, obviously, on our broadcast. But I think if you're a fan in the ballpark and you see the player's reaction to what he did, that shows you how much that means to you guys. I thought that was so cool, and it goes in perfectly with what you said about the attitude you guys have, the culture you have in that clubhouse.
And we have a fantastic culture. It's funny because McSweeney, I recognized the name. I was like, he's been in Norfolk. I know him. I faced him. And I've got at-bats against him where he's throwing 97. And I look up at the board, he's throwing 91, 92. But he is absolutely carving these guys.
Yeah.
He is dismantling this Nashville lineup. And that is so cool to watch because, like you said, he got released. He had to go play indie ball. He played indie ball, did well, clearly. Got signed by the Jumbo Shrimp. We needed a starter. He came in and did the job. And I hope after meeting him, of course, you walk into a new clubhouse. It's really hard. There's only so many people that have ever been able to do this, to walk into a new clubhouse and not know too many familiar faces, know a couple names here or there. But it's literally like the very first day of school at a very new school, at a brand new school. And you don't know anybody. You're eating by yourself. You're just kind of doing whatever you need to do, that kind of stuff. And then after a couple days, you start to know people. You start, hey, can I play cards with you? Hey, I remember you. Did you play here? Do you know this guy? And all of a sudden, you're part of the team. You're part of the culture. And McSweeney has truly been brought into the culture very quickly. I think, we play cards quite a bit. And that's why I brought it up. And so still, he owes me a little bit of money from cards. But he sat down and he was like, oh, what are you guys playing? He's like, I love that game. Let me play. Like, no problem. Let's do it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, now I see McSweeney. I'm like, hey, Sween, how we doing? And it's that kind of culture that we just want to bring everybody with us. We don't want to leave people behind. And that's, I feel like, the difference in the Jumbo Shrimp teams that we've seen over the last couple of years. Like, with the way that the Marlins have been working, I felt like it's more all for one. No, not all for one. It's just you're worried about yourself. We'll put it that way. And now it's more all for one, one for all. Now we have a team aspect. And I think that's a testament to the coaching staff
it is.
And how they go about their day and how they preach to us, how they talk to us. I've never really had a coach in professional baseball come in after games, after a tough loss, after a good win, and give us words of encouragement or chew us out or whatever it is until Carp got here. It feels more like a winning atmosphere. And I think that's so cool because, again, it's minor league baseball. You're worried about getting to the big leagues. You're worried about doing all this different kind of stuff. But at the same time, you kind of got to be where your feet are and understand that this is where you're at. We're here to win. We're here to get you to the big leagues. We're here to make you money, whatever it is. But at the same time, you need to win first. And you need to be a part of this team. Because if not, you're going to get weeded out.
All right, I have two questions to what you just said.
Ooh.
Because you said something really interesting in the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
It is noticeable. I think if you had spent any time, like even 6 minutes around any of the previous teams, and again, we've said this on our podcast, we really have liked the coaches in the past. It's just different. It's just different this
That's all
year.
it is. It's just different.
But David Carpenter had never managed in affiliated baseball. He wasn't in A-ball. He wasn't in rookie ball. He was in the Prospect League in West Virginia. And it just seemed like, when we found out he's going to be the manager, you look him up. You're like, okay, he was a really good pitcher. He pitched in the major leagues for several years. Okay, he's young, right? Like, that's a big theme that stuck out to me is that every coach is in their 30s or 40s pretty much. But you don't know how that's going to transition from where all these guys were because Marcello was kind of a coordinator before that. So, how is that going to go to a pitching coach? Margema had been out of baseball for a little bit. How is that going to go? Sebi's been here for a long time. But it's, I think, a huge testament because it's a huge jump from the West Virginia Black Bears in Morgantown, West Virginia, to AAA baseball. What were your expectations going in? And now, 3 months into the season, what are your thoughts on David Carpenter? I think you've alluded to it, but to me, I just think he's done an extraordinary job. Extraordinary job.
And I'm going to give this a testament to the people that came before him. Brownie, Colby, Sebi, even Phil. Those guys were phenomenal in my development of how to be a baseball player, how to go about business, how to take care of business, because they taught me how to play the game the right way, and they taught me how to do all the little things right. And now I can bring that into a very young team. I am now the old person. I am now the old person in the clubhouse. I am the veteran. I used to be in 22. I was 24 years old, and I had Ryan Lavarnway sitting next to me, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm very young. According to AAA baseball now, I'm very old, considering on this team. And Carpers gave me an outlet to be a leader, to go out and play the game that I'm going to do, to show people how to play the game the right way, to do the little things right, because that's what I take pride in. I want to do everything right. I'm not going to have the big power numbers. I'm not going to have the stolen bases. I'm not going to throw the ball 100 miles an hour from the outfield. I'm not going to do those things. That's just not what kind of player I am. But I'm going to play the game the right way. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to try to set up the team to win the game. And the best thing about Carp is he will call me on that. We had a situation, I want to say earlier this week. We had a situation, I didn't run out a ground ball. All of a sudden, De Los Santos does the same thing. Doesn't run it. Carp pulls me over. He says, "You are a leader on this team. You cannot act like this. You cannot do this. This is not something that you are going to do at the next level. This is not something you're going to do here. If you do it again, we're going to have an issue." I said, "Perfect. I hear you. It won't happen again." And that's the kind of outlet and that's the kind of person, because he wants people that want to play on this team, that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, he will let you go. He will tell the front office, say, "Get out of here.
Yeah.
Go do something else. Go to a different team. Go do something." But he's not afraid to call me on stuff when I'm not being a leader, when I'm not being the person that he expects me to be. And I think that's so cool, because I've always thought of myself as a lead by example kind of guy. Lead by what you're supposed to do. Try to carry people with me in a positive way. And when I'm not doing that and he sees that and that's visible, I'm really glad that he calls me out on that kind of thing, because if not, sometimes I wouldn't know, and maybe it drags on, and maybe I'm not doing my job being, a leader in the clubhouse, a leader on the field, whatever it is. And I think that's really what Carp brings. Again, we talk about it all the time. As a team, we are a family, and we keep things in the family. We do not go outside to complain. We do not go outside to talk bad about other players. We don't do that kind of stuff. We're a family. We're going to have our issues, just like every family that's ever lived. We're going to have our issues, but we keep it in-house. And we do not bring that outside of that, because truly the only thing that matters is who's in the clubhouse and what are we trying to accomplish today, which is winning.
The other thing, you guys in theory, after winning the first half of the year, could have gone, and you've already won 3 of the first 5 at the time of this recording, you could have gone 0-75. And he was like, "I'm not worried at all about how we're going to play in the second half because of the veteran leadership we have, because, as you said earlier, it's AAA baseball. We know we're going to lose guys, but we know that guys know that there's an opportunity. And the third thing is, this is a unique place that these guys want to win. Like, that's not always the case in minor league baseball. That was the other question I was going to have when you said, in the past, I thought it was all for yourself, and you're just trying
Correct.
to get numbers to look good. Not like that anymore. And so it seems like your message, again, is echoing the coaching staff's message. Again, that to me is an amazing sign if you're going to evaluate leadership, that these guys are just repeating what their leaders are saying. I just thought that was really neat that you brought that up several days, again, unprompted after I had done that, and asked, what do you do in the second half when there isn't necessarily a motivation to make a playoff spot because you already have one?
I think the motivation there is we want to be the best versions of ourselves, because if we go 0-75 and then we go into the playoffs, what do you think the playoffs are going to look like? Do you think we're just going to flip a switch?
Right, exactly.
It doesn't work like that. That's not how baseball is. And truly it is now a little bit more. I would say it's a little bit more selfish in the second half now that we won. We took care of business. We do what we want. It's going to be a little bit more selfish, especially with how baseball works. But honestly, I think that the culture here, it's going to be significantly less than times in the past. It's just, we want to be here. We want to win. And I can't speak for the other affiliates on how it is, because I do understand that the Marlins have been doing things a little bit differently than in other MLB organizations. But here in AAA, in Jacksonville specifically, I think that everybody that comes into the team, they walk in and they're like, wow, this is awesome. I want to be a part of this. I don't send me back to wherever I came from. I want to be a part of this right here because this is a winning team. This is a winning culture. And we're going to have guys that go up and help in Miami. We're going to have guys that go help with the Brewers. We're going to have guys that go help with the Yankees. We're going to have guys, but we're going to remember this year because of the culture. The wins are great. We're going to remember the wins. We're going to remember the Jacob Berry walk-off in a day game Sunday to sweep whoever. We're going to remember a go-ahead home run by De Los Santos
To sweep Gwinnett.
to sweep Gwinnett, or the Brian Navarreto home run where he went absolutely ballistic and hit a 2-run home run to another go-ahead in the 8th or something like that. But realistically, we're going to remember the culture and how that felt because you can feel it in a clubhouse right away. I'm telling you, if you walk into a clubhouse that does not have a good culture, you know it right away.
Mm-hmm.
You can step in and you can be like, okay, this is going to be, I'm going to have to kind of lock it in a little bit. Or you step into a room like we have here in Jacksonville, and you're going to be like, I can be myself. I can go play. I'm going to have success because I know that the people around me want me to have success as well.
All right, we'll wrap things up on that because that's a really cool little nugget. The way the schedule works, second half of the season, 75 games, you guys will play as the first half champion. You'll host the winner of the second half in the International League. Tuesday, September 23rd is the first game of that best of 3. Winner 2 out of 3 goes to Las Vegas to play the winner of the Pacific Coast League. Same format there.
I think
best of 3.
I think the Aviators won that
Aviators
first half,
won
right?
the first half,
Okay.
yep. And so the AAA National Championship. So you win 2 out of 3 in the ILCS. You win the International League. Obviously, same thing for the PLCS or the PCLS, whatever that is. You win that league. And then you come together one game Saturday, I think it's the 29th of September, and you try to win the entirety of AAA. So pretty darn cool. Also pretty cool. We heard amazing feedback on our mailbag episode.
Yes.
We wanted
Yes.
to bring that back. So if you've got questions for the mailbag, just shoot me an email, scott@jackshrimp.com. I'll kind of like compile that, and we'll do a little social media thing as well to get some in the coming weeks. But any closing thoughts here for you?
I do have one question. I'm not sure on this because I was talking to somebody from Columbus last year. Do we host all 3 games?
We do. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We
It's
don't
gonna
have
be a
to
cool
travel.
atmosphere here.
That
Yep.
is fantastic. Good for MILB. Way to go that way. Because I remember we won the championship in short season, and we had to play Lowell. So if you think about it, we have Batavia, New York, and then we have Lowell, Massachusetts. And so we had to play 2 games in Batavia. We won 1, lost 1. Then we had to drive 8 hours that night to go to Lowell, Massachusetts and play a game that night. We got in at like 4, and we played the game at 7, lost, drove all the way back 8 hours back to Batavia just to take a flight out in the morning.
We did that Myrtle Beach to Lynchburg. Yep. We won though.
Good on.
my
Oh,
only
see, there
ring.
you go. That's your only
I
ring.
should have wore it today. But you have one, like a championship ring? I know you said you've won the halves. Have you gotten the full thing?
I have about 3 or 4. Yeah.
Look at that.
I have a.
This is a winner right here.
I try my best, and see that's what I'm talking about. What I try to bring to the table. But honestly, I'm super excited. Let's do the mailbag. Do we have about 2 weeks for people to do questions?
Yeah,
1 week?
we do because
Okay.
we actually recorded 2 episodes this week. So we have this one coming out Tuesday.
Great.
We've got another one with a really cool player of ours a few weeks after that, post All-Star break. We'll take a break for the All-Star break. So early August, something like that.
I love it.
Early and mid-August.
I love it. Well, bring us your questions. Hopefully they're chosen. I want to have a little bit longer so we can talk about it because there's a couple questions that we missed. I know people were a little disappointed in that, but Marcy.
He got to ask the question.
Got to ask the question. But if we can do a little bit longer, maybe we'll do an hour and 15. If we can slot out some time and we can get all the questions, make sure everybody's heard. But guys, thank you so much for listening. You can catch us wherever you get podcasts, YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that you find us. Make sure to shoot us any kind of positivity that you guys hear, anything you want to hear next time. Let us know. We see your comments. We see everything that's going on. We can't thank you guys enough for all the positive support and listening. This has been Turn 2 with Scott and Troy. Thank you so much.